Vandals desecrate a sacred World War II memorial for veterans. It's disgusting. Why you never want a smart thermostat in your house. I kind of have one, but I don't use it anymore. We'll tell you about that. And the top secret drum corps. Oh, man. I love these guys. We got a performance for you. Unbelievable. All that and more. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. We are live on Rumble and YouTube. And good morning, Danny. Good to have you along. It is a Friday. It's Friday, Friday. Remember that stupid song? What was her name? I can't remember. It was a one-hit wonder. Anyway, not important. Really not important. All right. Just when you think you've hit peak disgusting, something like this happens. And it's unbelievable. The World War II Memorial isn't a political statement, doesn't belong to a political party. It belongs to anyone. It belongs to the veterans of the world's greatest war, the brave Americans who waded ashore at Normandy under constant fire. It belongs to the bomber crews who braved flak German fighters. It belongs to the paratroopers who jumped into battle, knowing that no matter which way they looked, there would be enemy troops. It belongs to Marines who fought a very bitter and unbelievable foe all the way from Guadalcanal to Okinawa. And it belongs to the Navy pilots who flew off of shifting carrier decks to take flight to the enemy. It belongs to the surviving Americans, the last dwindling few who served in World War II and who are still alive to tell their tale. It is their memorial. It was just placed in a location where the rest of us, the beneficiaries of their courage, can visit it and pay our respects to all those brave men and women. So when some despicable, disgusting, cowardly, vicious vandals desecrate the World War II memorial to make some kind of low IQ attempt at a political statement, the entire nation, every single one of us, should react. We react with anger, outrage, disgust. And that is precisely what happened, as we learned yesterday, when freelance photographer Andrew Layden showed us the photo on X. First, bad enough, it was the soap in the memorial fountain that somebody actually dumped in there to desecrate it. Unbelievable. But these vicious little savages, these morons, didn't stop there. Oh no. They went on to spread graffiti all over the memorial as well. I used this in our thumbnails. You can see it right here. Here's what these scumballs did to this memorial with their, I don't know, it looks like spray paint. Unbelievable. What would make somebody think this was acceptable? What? We don't know what motivated these little goblins from derangement syndrome. If so, why attack a World War II memorial? It isn't a political statement. It isn't a matter of left or right. It's a matter of honoring the heroes who served this country. It's about the brave service members who faced bitter, determined, and yes, skilled enemies, and absolutely whipped their ass. Were these people motivated by hatred of the military? Well, that's not the least common attitude on the left, and whoever did this, I will bet serious money they are a lefty. But even a lot of liberals acknowledge that World War II was not a war of choice. It was a war that was forced upon us, and a war that we had to win. And we did. There's no excuse, none, for this kind of vandalism. There's no political statement that makes this acceptable. There's no sense to it, none. These people are like vicious dogs. If they can't carry it away, then they have to spoil it. The primary exception being that even dogs are not capable of this kind of absolute vicious disregard or respect. We try and keep this show a bit family friendly, but about the closest I can say about how I really feel about this is whoever did this, whoever committed this outrage, is not fit to scrape dog poo off the boots of the last lowest ranking service member who wore an American uniform from 1941 to 1945. Not fit even for that. Let's hope they get caught. This area has got to be loaded with cameras. Find them, arrest them, try them, and punish them severely. Put a word out that we are not putting up with this kind of desecration. We absolutely owe it to the fallen of World War II. Find them. Absolutely insane, these people. Speaking of the military, fake news, here we go again. CENTCOM has fired back at the mainstream media, who has been taken lately to claiming that there is absolute misery on board the USS Abraham Lincoln. There are reports everywhere. Miserable conditions supposedly aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, including food shortages, broken plumbing, widespread exhaustion, plummeting morale. It's so bad, according to these mainstream media reports, that some sailors have attempted to jump overboard and presumably drown. Stupid headlines like conditions on U.S. aircraft carrier at sea for more than 250 days raise alarms. That's an actual headline. Democrat lawmakers like Richard Donning Dick Blumenthal, the idiot from Connecticut, whom I sadly claim as my home state. It is. Unfortunately, the idiots there elected this moron. He's demanding answers. He's writing strongly worded letters. The U.S. military was already preparing to replace the USS Abraham Lincoln with the USS George Washington as a part of a scheduled Middle East deployment, which will bring the Lincoln more than 200 plus days of service so far at sea to an end. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, had something to say about all these fake reports in this fake mainstream media, most of which are complete bullshit. CENTCOM posts on X claim Over the past 48 hours, multiple media outlets have reported several false claims related to USS Abraham Lincoln deployment to the Middle East. One report allegedly said 7 sailors died in a brawl aboard the aircraft carrier. Others have recently suggested a spike in suicidal ideations. These reports are false. Fact. This is from CENTCOM. The USS Abraham Lincoln has maintained among the highest crew reenlistment rates, 84.4% of all aircraft carriers in the U.S. Navy. The sailors, the Marines of the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group remain resilient and resolved after more than 260 days at sea, 10,000 aircraft flights, and 1.5 million pounds of ordnance expended. No service members on board that aircraft carrier have died, and one sailor who fell overboard August 3rd was quickly and safely rescued. The rampant misreporting about the Abraham Lincoln's historic deployment is nothing but a disservice to our men and women in uniform and their loved ones. That an exact quote of the X claim that they put out there. 84.4% reenlistment. That's huge. This father claims his daughter's doing just fine. Take a look at this. Here is a shot of her breakfast. It says, Trey Parker writes, my daughter is an officer on the Abraham Lincoln, and she said the deployment's been great. Food's awesome as well. Here's her breakfast this morning, and her patch from the deployment. She loves it. There's the patch from her deployment. Oh, man. It's been a long deployment, certainly, no doubt about that. Very few port calls. U.S. Gerald Ford completed a longer one, 326 days, ended May 1st. Now, I don't doubt for a minute that can be physically and mentally very taxing, exhausting, and that not everything has gone perfect, I'm sure, with the food, the plumbing. Military families have credibly reported on it. We're talking about professionals, though, and they have trained long and hard for exactly this kind of difficult mission. War ain't comfortable. Now, I don't want to minimize the sacrifice, the hardships that face our American heroes, but I also don't want to start buying into the more serious morale and operational issues claims. There is no concrete evidence, none that anyone has presented so far, from someone more credible than the Iranian propaganda machine, the mainstream news, or blue-haired shrieking Democrats. In the meantime, God bless our troops. They are doing just great. Marilyn says, talking about idiot Blumenthal, I don't believe he was elected. I'm sure there was some hanky-panky with the elections. How odd. I, Marilyn, would not doubt that for a New York minute. Absolutely. Do you have anything smart in your home? I have Alexa. I have a couple of Echoes, which I use for music streaming. I use when I need to know what time it is and I don't wear a watch. So I also control some of the lighting in my house. And I used to have a hookup which would control the air conditioner. We don't have heat here because the country is hot enough 24 hours a day. We don't need heat. Cars, by the way, this is a weird thing. Cars here do not have a heater. Yeah. When we go up to like Genting Highlands, which is very cold up there, especially when there's no sun, you actually want to have a heater in your car to get warmed up. Cars here don't have heaters because, it's the tropics. Anyway, I stopped using my automated voice command for the aircon unit. Well, there is a Colorado woman who found out exactly and found out the hard way why you do not want a smart thermostat in your home. Some smart internet connected devices, they're pretty cool. I like mine. You can control your lights as I do. You set alarms. Will be warned if someone's in your driveway. Check to see if a package has been delivered. But there's one device that you really should refuse to be tempted by, and that is a smart thermometer. Because Big Brother will be dictating to you what temperature you're allowed to set it at. You think I'm kidding? No, I'm not. Take a look. That is exactly what happened to a Colorado woman who made the serious mistake of allowing her power company access to her thermostat. Rocky Mountain State's been going through a heat wave of late, and that is not the time you want someone telling you to cut back on your aircon. When she needed a little more comfort, her internet overlord said, nope, you can't do that. A Colorado woman actually tried to lower her AC from 79 degrees. Her smart thermostat said, you're not allowed. The warning cited stress on the regional power grid and temporarily blocked her from lowering the temperature. This is insane. Take a look. This is the lady. Hold on. Could we possibly get the sound, please? Let's try again.
My own thermostat was 79, and
go.
I wanted to put my daughter to bed, and it had a little warning that said, you are not allowed to lower your thermostat set point because the energy grid in your regional area is stressed. And I took a picture of it and I posted it on social media, and I was very annoyed because I was thinking, I understand why this is happening, but the average consumer is just going to see you're not allowed to control your own air conditioner in your own house without a reason other than the energy grid is stressed. And B, there needs to be, especially for sensitive communities, an easier opt-out feature. So I was able to find one, but I think there always needs to be an opt-out feature for infants, for elderly people, for people that have health conditions. It's literally not safe to have a utility not allow you to cool or heat your house to a certain degree.
Absolutely, absolutely not safe. Unbelievable. We've all been having a really hot summer. There's no doubt about that. When it gets above 79 inside the house, it gets pretty uncomfortable, for sure, especially if you're trying to get a little shut eye. What if you have kids? It is literally not safe, like that lady just said from Colorado. But you know what? Big Brother doesn't give a crap. Kyrie Baker, assistant professor at the University of Colorado Boulder, told NBC affiliate 9 News she attempted to turn down her home's thermostat from a uncomfortable 79 to a hellish 75. Oh my God. And got a message from Xcel Energy informing her the power grid was too taxed to accommodate the decrease in temperature. She tried to lower the thermostat. She said, to conserve energy, this is the message she got. To conserve energy in your community due to stress on the regional grid, you cannot set your temperature lower. This combined with, by the way, an extreme heat wave in Colorado. Temperatures reached 100 degrees on Saturday and have remained in the 90s across most of Colorado. Ironically, Baker opted into the program with the best of progressive intentions, and she found out the hard way that was not a good idea. She voluntarily enrolled in this program to offset her carbon footprint according to periods of high demand, but she had no idea she wouldn't be able to adjust her own personal thermostat. Orwell would have likely have thoughts about this if he were alive today. A few years ago, the electric companies stopped by and asked if they wanted to opt in to their new smart meters, and we said, and no thank you. The concern, of course, is that they're going to limit your consumption of power or shut off your power altogether on a whim. You've always had the ability to come by and just shut off your energy if you don't pay your bill, of course. But that process takes time, and you are not at the mercy of some intern on the other end of a keyboard. Click, done. Imagine the thought of California Governor Scumball Newsom controlling how often you use your appliances. Oh, believe me, he would in a New York minute. And now this poor Colorado lady knows exactly what it feels like. Excuse me. Marilyn says that's why I have the good old fashioned one and won't let them change it. I can't breathe, so I have to have the AC, and I try it on 74, but I can't imagine what would happen if I couldn't. Danny says I do 69 to 70. My dad always called me an air baby. I do not heat well. Oh, man. I like it. I don't heat well. I don't either, actually. And I'm living in a country where it's, normal temperature day and night is in the 80s and 90s. I mean, Celsius, I know because I've been here almost 25 years now. So whatever the conversion is, I just guessed. But it's at nighttime, about 25, 26 Celsius. And during the day, if the sun is out, you can get up to 33, 35, something like that Celsius. So you can do the math. All right. Hey, how about a nice hot, full-bodied, full-flavored, never bitter cup of blackout coffee? Oh, yeah. Bow, bow, bow. Blackout Coffee, an American company that makes the best coffee on the planet. They grow the best beans in the right soil, right altitude, right time of year. They harvest them at exactly the right moment when they're at their best. They only select the top 80 and above percent out of a 100-point scale. They roast your beans only after you place your order, and if you can't grind your own whole beans, they will grind them for you on most of their popular roasts. You got to check it out. Their flavored coffees are incredible. They've got cold brew, they've got coffee pods, of course, they've got instant coffee. Everyone absolutely amazing. And if you use the link down there in our description and you use the code J20, JAY20, you will get 20% off your first order. You can also sign up, and this is a brilliant idea, for a coffee subscription. You get to switch your roasts anytime you like. You can cancel or put it on hold for a while if you need to. But that way, every month you will get your shipment and you won't run out of coffee. And believe me, once you've tried this blackout coffee, Oh man, you will be ordering it for the rest of your life, just like me. It's just that incredible. Blackout coffee. Use the code J20 for 20% off your first order and use our link in our description to head over there and get yourself some Blackout coffee. All right. Colorado has, man, why is this show full of things that are pissing me off? Usually on Friday, I lighten it up a little bit. Apparently, that's not going to happen today. Colorado has been running a state funded grooming and mutilation operation for years. Colorado, listen to this, Colorado medical students are taught that children as young as 18 months old can distinguish between gender identities, and by 6 years old, develop his or her own gender identity. They have been in Colorado, they've been using taxpayer dollars to groom children into believing they're transgender, pointing them to mutilation surgeries, emphasizing that a lot don't need your mommy and daddy's permission. Oh, yeah. According to a new report from Do No Harm, Colorado, spends millions of dollars on government programs, social media influencer campaigns, and medical school curriculums, all aimed at convincing little children that they are a different gender, which then they point them towards medicalization, bullying the parents who don't want to destroy their kids. Colorado even paid queer children ages 12 to 18 to take part in virtual meetings about transition resources. A publicly funded network of Colorado organizations is pushing resources that promote youth gender ideology on very, very vulnerable children. That, according to Dr. Kurt Mickley, Chief Medical Officer at Do No Harm. He said, "Our report is a case study examining how the transgender industrial complex," there's a new one, "pushed further and further into the lives of innocent children, reaching even as far as school-based health centers in the state." Colorado has a program called I Matter. It was set up to provide free mental health counseling to kids. Cost taxpayers about $11 million a year. And this program includes a confidentiality waiver that strips parental consent around the age of 12. Although the report says it's not clear how the program verifies parental consent at that age. And participation in I Matter also does not require insurance or even citizenship. It will refer patients to healthcare providers for further treatment, allowing a child to confidentially begin the medical journey of sex-rejecting transition without mom and dad knowing a damn thing about it. No consent is necessary. 12 years old. I Matter advertises its services to children using social media influencers, specifically chosen because their audience is mostly children. $5 million influencer campaign. Does not provide things, this iMatter program, like puberty blockers, hormones, mutilation, surgeries itself, but their free counseling sessions apparently is just a gateway in convincing kids to believe they're a different gender. And then they point them in the direction of organizations and groups that will provide them with these mutilating surgeries and chemicals. Colorado. What the hell is wrong with you? Seriously. Unbelievable. What a world. Danny says that's why parents need to start early. Teach your kids about God. Teach them God does not make mistakes. They are what they were born. Bingo. Thank you, Danny. All right, the Luigi Mangione case has taken a rather strange and shocking turn. Haven't heard about this scumball in a while, but here we go. Expected development, rather unexpected development in the Luigi Mangione case, playing around across news and media outlets. Yesterday, a lot speculating that a guilty plea could be forthcoming and may happen today at a surprise pretrial hearing, which was scheduled to take place at the Manhattan Federal Courthouse. That is happening this morning. Seems the accused assassin is trying to avoid spending the rest of his life in prison. He is 28 years old. New York Post, which has been front and center on this case, says Luigi Mangione is expected to plead guilty today in his federal case tied to his alleged execution of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in an apparent bid to dodge a life sentence, according to sources. 28-year-old killer, accused killer, who is set to appear at a morning hearing in Manhattan Federal Court today, charged with the federal case with 2 counts of stalking resulting in death stemming from his alleged December 2024 cold-blooded murder of the powerful executive on a Manhattan sidewalk. Now, he is facing 2 separate cases over Thompson's killing, a New York State case and a federal case. 2 separate cases. Some of the more serious charges have been thrown out in both of these cases, but he still faces a second-degree murder, weapons, and forgery charges in state court. Jury selection is supposed to begin September 8th, unless something happens today, which, according to sources, say it very well might. This guilty plea, they expect it to happen today, but that would apply to only the federal charges. The state charges, yet to be seen. Interesting. How many every day, every single freaking day, we have these stories. An LA judge has given the most ludicrous, insane reason for taking it easy on a felon who tried to blow an LAPD chopper out of the sky. Story out of Los Angeles, making a lot of waves on social media and likely in LA. An ex-con was found guilty of shooting at and striking an LAPD helicopter last year. He was handed a sentence by LA County Superior Judge Mildred Escobedo Yeah. And her reason for this light sentence is absolutely bonkers. 62-year-old Douglas Bayers, convicted in March on 2 counts of assault on a peace officer, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon, after using an AR-15 style rifle to shoot at an LAPD helicopter on August 15, 2025, about a year ago, almost exactly. There were 2 officers on board the chopper at the time. Subsequently, they had to make an emergency landing. The officers were not hurt, despite Bayers' best efforts. When the officers entered the backyard, they found an AR-15 assault rifle, 2 airsoft replica rifles, and roughly 18 spent shells. Bayers was arrested on suspicion of negligent discharge of a firearm, and hours later, when they inspected the chopper that responded to the shooting call at Bayers' home, it revealed a bullet had pierced the tail of the chopper. The spokesman for the department said if that shot had been slightly further down, the aircraft would have fallen out of the sky. All of which leads to his sentencing on Tuesday, a couple days ago. Judge Escobedo rejected the prosecutor's recommendation that Bayers, who has multiple prior felony convictions and was not allowed to own a firearm, be sentenced to 41 years in prison. That's what the prosecution recommended. Escobedo gave him 13 years and reasoned that he'd been friendly and respectful in court when acting as his own attorney. So she cut his sentence by more than half. You can't make this up. The judge, listen to this bullshit. The judge noted the conduct was extremely dangerous and does require prison time, but said the crime seems connected to the defendant's substance abuse, and added that he'd been respectful and friendly while acting as his own attorney during the trial. Escobedo said she had the discretion not to impose the gun enhancements that were found to be true by jurors in March. You know who would have benefited a lot from, say, some of Bayers' friendliness? The 2 cops he tried to blow out of the sky in their chopper. They could have used a little of his friendliness. The criminal justice system is supposed to weigh the crime, the danger to the public, the defendant's history, and the jury's findings. Not if the guy who nearly brought down a police chopper charmed the judge. That should and does not have anything to do with it. Bayers got lucky once when that bullet missed the chopper's critical controls. And he got lucky again when he landed in the courtroom of this idiot Judge Mildred Escobedo. One of these days, the scumball's luck is gonna run out. I can only hope I'm here to see it. Unbelievable. All right, one of our other great sponsors here on this program is the mobile cell phone service provider you should be using for all the right reasons. They are a Christian conservative wireless provider, and they care about the things you and I do. It's called Patriot Mobile.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
PatriotMobile.com/J, J-A-Y, that is the link. You'll find it in our description down there. And be sure you get a hold of their customer service people. They're 100% US-based. They speak your language. They're here to help you put a plan together that fits your budget. They're not trying to upsell you. And again, nothing changes really. You keep your phone, you keep your phone number. The only thing that is the biggest difference of all, really the only difference, is that you will not be funding the left. This is a Christian conservative company, does absolutely amazing service, and they are the company you should be getting your cell phone service from. Patriot Mobile, available across the United States. Wherever you may be, they are there for you. PatriotMobile.com/J, J-A-Y. If you sign up using our link or our code J, J-A-Y, you will get your first month free. Your first month is free. It's on me if you sign up using that link. So head over there to Patriot Mobile and get signed up today. Thank you, Patriot Mobile. CNN, here we go again, trying to drum up another race hoax. This is insane. Police investigating after a black woman was found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. An ex-post from The Lead on CNN read, which was accompanied by a reporter hit that aired Wednesday from Omar Jimenez on the death of 29-year-old Tasia Fortune. That's her name, Tasia Fortune. Fortune was found hanged in a tree behind an abandoned house earlier this month. Her death, undoubtedly tragic. Circumstances are being investigated. It is still an open investigation. But CNN is apparently more interested in trying to insinuate that her death is just another example of racism in America. When are these people going to learn? They're trying to invoke the imagery of a racist lynching and simply breeze past any additional details that surround this woman's death. Jimenez stressed that little is known about the circumstances and that the police have not said whether her death is considered suspicious, nor have they identified a suspect. But police have also similarly not suggested in any way, shape, or form that this death is politically or racially motivated. So naturally, CNN is trying to make the crime about race, or at least they're trying. The raw imagery of a black person hanging from the tree in the American South evokes a very painful history, Jimenez says. Tried to reinforce the racist undertone by grouping Fortune's death with 2 other lynchings in the area, before noting the other 2 individuals were reportedly to have died by suicide, and one of the deceased was white. 2 suicides, 1 death under investigation do not establish a pattern of racism, you idiots. Even more telling are the details that this knucklehead left out of his report. 4 days before CNN started airing this report, local station WLBT reported the Terrence Anderson described as a person of interest in connection with the death of Fortune, had been arrested on an unrelated charge. Anderson, who is Black, had been interviewed in connection with the death of Tasia Fortune, according to the report. Anderson denied involvement with her death and has not been charged in relation to it, but reportedly said the two had been arguing. And WLBT reports the police say the two were in a relationship, although Anderson said, no, we weren't. Notably, Anderson reportedly lives very near the crime scene, so he is certainly someone they're looking at. Nevertheless, CNN never mentioned any of these facts in their reporting. This disingenuous attempt to exploit this poor woman's death in order to peddle some favorite legacy media claim that America is a racist country. Please, CNN. We ain't buying it, and it ain't gonna work. We are smarter than that. And that's why you have no more viewers left. For what few viewers you have are the ones that are destined to watch you with no sound on at the airport. Idiots. Idiots! Have you ever heard of the Top Secret Drum Corps? You will now. They do more than dazzle with unbelievably perfect synchronization. The real secret lies in this drum corps' hands, which you need to watch closely. Centuries-old basal drumming tradition, pushed to the level of absolute pure magic. This whole thing dates back to the militaristic drumming style of basal that dates back to the Swiss soldiers in the Middle Ages. And they keep this absolute iron discipline of that heritage while completely reinventing the spirit and the speed at which they play. A lot of modern drum corps focus on complex musical arrangements, large-scale visual effects. Top Secret Drum Corps takes a rather different path. Very minimal instrumentation, minimal hand techniques, absolute synchronization. And that makes their identity unmistakable. This group is insane. Here is a small sample of how amazing this is. Look at that. Wow! Wow! Ha! Holy crap! I told you. Did I tell you? Oh, man. Top Secret Drum Corps. A salute. You guys are amazing. Hey, it's Friday. That means as a drummer, Danny says, I could watch that forever. Love it. Absolutely. I actually played in a drum corps at one time. I sucked at it. But it was a lot of fun. It really was. It was great. I played the snare. All right. That's going to do it. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Spend it with someone you love. And don't forget all our great sponsors. You want to donate directly to the show to help us pay the bills? You can do that at our PayPal link down there in our description. And enjoy your weekend. We'll be back again Monday, same time, same channel. We'll see you then.